Hey guys, what's up? And welcome back to the Wrestling with Idiots podcast. I'm your host Dee, and here with us we have Cito and Jay Grizz to discuss two small topics for today's episode. So guys, let's get this shit in the ring and wrestle. To start us off, how bad has the Final Testament gotten? And I'm gonna kick us off with this one. I'm gonna be honest with you, I think they're flat out boring.
Who, the
There's
Final Testament?
Yes. I
You talking
don't
about
hear like
Karrion Cross and AOP?
they're boring. There's like no type of like I don't even see the audience even like cheering them on. I don't hear the audience. I honestly I think that there's maybe like a person standing around somewhere with a sign that says clap, you know?
No, they're boring. I mean, they're bad guys. They ain't going to be cheered or nothing like that.
Well, the problem is that they're not getting booed either.
They're not getting
They're
anything.
not
They're
getting
getting
booed.
silence. Where's the crickets?
Are,
Where the
are
crickets
they
at?
in babyface and heel limbo? Like, maybe they're good guys, maybe they're bad guys. Could it be one of those things?
Honestly, when I see them, it's like the audio is like mute because I don't hear anything.
Y'all don't hear what Karrion Cross is talking? Y'all
Nope.
like his promos?
Nope.
I don't think anyone does.
Flat out silence. But yeah, that's my thoughts. Cito, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much of a difference of opinion. I do think they're boring. I've been saying this for the
Wait a
longest
minute.
amount of
Hold
time.
on. You said you told me that they were your favorite wrestling faction of all time.
I never said that. I never said
Off air, you told me this.
No.
You said we just have to do something for this show. You said that Karrion Cross will be WWE champion at some point.
No, I said a couple years ago he might have made a good 24/7 champion.
Whatever
Realistically,
happened to that, though?
I
Did
don't
they
know, but
bury it?
not thinking about it, I don't even think he was worthy of that title. Because at the very least, people that held that title were over, like R-Truth and Bad Bunny.
Oh, you cut
They were
it
able
out.
to
They
get
were
reactions.
over.
I'm not. Yeah, I know they were over. I know. You don't gotta tell me. I know.
That's
Okay, yeah,
hilarious.
I know. I think it's such a bad group. I feel like it's such a boring group. And again, I was saying this before, but Karrion Cross seems to be like an anchor. He just weighs everything and everybody down.
Yeah, in all seriousness, I ain't gonna lie, man. It is pretty bad because I remember when they were talking about re-signing the authors of pain in Uranus. And I was excited when, they came back, but then it's just like nothing really came about. Nothing really came to, like, you know what I mean? So he might be weighing everybody down because, hell, even people was in the Scarlet or Charlotte. No, Charlotte's the
It's
talented one.
Scarlet, yeah.
Scarlet, yeah. Is it Scarlett Johansson? No, that's not the
No,
same person. Is it?
it's not the same one.
No, not the same one. All right, well, yeah, because people aren't even into her anymore.
Yeah, it's crazy how that happened, right?
Man, crazy ain't even the word for it.
Like, I remember when they first came back and everybody's like, yeah, well, let's just give it some time. It's been 2 years. I think we already gave it all the time that we needed to give it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think we gave it all the time we needed to give it. He can't get over. I'm not trying to sound mean. I'm just saying, as a singles, he can't get over. In a group, he can't get over. You could put him with Paul Ellering, he can't get over. Put him with his wife, he can't get over. Give him AOP, he can't get over. He's probably gonna get Xavier Woods soon. He still can't get over. He's just not that guy.
And you see, Cito, this is what rattles my cages, okay? This is what grinds my gears. This is what pushes my buttons, is the fact that Triple H rehired this guy after he was the gladiator on Raw. Apparently, they did kind of give Bobby Lashley an offer, but they didn't give him an offer that he couldn't refuse. But Bobby Lashley is way over than Karrion Cross. Why? Listen, I don't care if we're friends. I don't care what it is. This is business. Karrion Cross doesn't do business, and he never has. He hasn't done business. That they took the NXT title off him because they were tired of him. Then he went to Raw, and he didn't catch fire. Nothing with him has worked since he first came in the door. Well, maybe when he first came in the door, but after that, nobody cared about him. So my thing is, Bobby Lashley sits up there and says that he had a relationship with Vince McMahon and Triple H has his boys and everything like that, but he tried to have a relationship with Triple H. Why do I have to have a relationship with you in order for me to stay in the company to make things better? Not saying Bobby Lashley's the one that makes things better, but it's just like he's way more valuable than the Final Testament altogether.
Yeah, yeah, you're not gonna see
I'd
me
much rather
disagreeing
see
with that.
Bobby Lashley's theme music is more over than the Final Testament. The intro is more over than the Final Testament. And it's just like, that's a guy, and I can't get over it because I feel like, man, come on, man. Like, what are you doing? Stop rehiring talent that have no value and start keeping the talent that do have value. This guy's a former two-time WWE champion. He went
Yep.
against Brock Lesnar a couple times. Wrestled against Goldberg. It's Bobby Lashley. You've seen him. Karrion Kross, oh my God, this is the most cringe thing I've ever heard. Karrion Kross, did both of you guys see this? This happened on Raw. I think it was last week. I'm not sure what week it was. Karrion Kross had the nerve to talk about Kofi Kingston's title run and
Go
him
ahead.
losing the belt within about 6 or 7 seconds. Brother, you ain't never
Yeah.
going to be in the main event. Are you talking about Kofi Kingston losing a belt that you can't even look at? The closest he'll get to that belt ever in his career is if he goes to shop.com, WWE shop.com, and he goes and looks for it in the merchandise section. And that's not even a real belt. That's just a replica. That's the only time he's going to be able to see that belt. Because I highly doubt Cody Rhodes is around him. Or because
Yeah.
he's on Raw, that's right. I
Right.
doubt Gunther's around him. So what is he talking about? Come on, man.
I didn't understand it either, and I started laughing when I heard him say that because I'm like, yeah, I mean, even the 8 seconds that Kofi lost that, or 9 seconds, however it took for him to lose it, Karrion Kross will never get over to that point. Kofi was more over in those 8 seconds than Karrion Kross has been in the last 2 years he's been in the company.
Exactly. That's why I don't understand it. And then he had the nerve to smile about it. Bro, you haven't done anything. And you know what's crazy? At some point in time, when nobody cared about the Intercontinental title or the United States title, maybe he could have won those. But as you see, what has happened in the past year and a half with those titles, they've been leveled up to much higher expectations like they were back in the 90s. He ain't going to even be able to be a mid-card champion because now we talking about upper mid-card. I don't even think
Right.
those belts used to be lower mid-card. Now they way upper mid-card. They are now, once again, the stepping stone titles to the main event. I don't see Karrion Kross even competing for those. The speed title, maybe.
Right. Well, and here's the worst thing too, is like I'm not gonna blame him because I don't know if that was his promo or if they gave him that promo. Hopefully it wasn't his promo. If if somebody wrote that for him, they really have to start looking at their roster and start understanding like, yeah, our guys, Karrion Kross in particular, it's just not over. He's never been over. He won't be over. You know what I mean? Maybe we don't have somebody like him say that, right? I can hear Gunther saying something like that.
Oof. Well, yeah, because he's been champion for a long time, so
Right.
he's entitled to say
Right.
something like that.
That's what I'm saying.
So you make a
But
point with that one.
yeah, somebody like Karrion Kross should not. I wouldn't even let him say the word WWE Championship. Like, don't let that come out of his mouth.
We probably need to cast him away to a third world country to have his tongue being removed now
Oh,
because his promo sucked and what comes out of his mouth or what came out of his mouth was ridiculous, whether it was written for him or not. I would probably say, you know what, I don't feel comfortable with saying these lines because, man, yeah, it don't make sense that I'm going to bash a guy for losing a belt that I can't even see in person. Like I'm not backstage. Like I'm not a WWE superstar. Come on now.
yeah. I mean, I don't understand, and I hear people, because I know there's some people that do defend him. I think most of them are just friends with the guy, so they don't want to hurt his feelings. And I'll hear the whole thing where, oh, well, WWE keeps him because he's on the house show. They need him on the house shows.
House shows? They keep him on the house shows?
I, that's what I've heard people, like when they defend him, because you can't defend a guy. I've seen people try to defend him, and we're going on 2 years where it's like, you can't defend a guy. This is not it's not a thing where Vince is in charge and Vince is burying him. Triple H has been giving him stuff for 2 straight years, and he can't get anything over.
Mm-hmm.
He just can't. He had matches with Drew. He had matches with Ray. He had a feud with Bobby Lashley. He's got his own group. I don't know what else you want to do.
Don't forget AJ Styles.
Right. And I just think it's crazy that he's still working there. And it's not only him, you have other people. But he's the main one that he's still working there. And then you have other people like MVP and Bobby Lashley and, Shelton Benjamin that are not there anymore. That's a head scratcher.
How much you think Paul Ellering is getting paid just to walk around with both of his buckled bad knees, just to walk around with the Final Testament?
A lot. And I'll tell you right now, too much leather. He has too much leather on. I'm telling you right now. He's got too much leather. And you know what's crazy?
The AOP, they're very talented. They are a very talented tag team. And like you said, he is an anchor.
Yeah, he's an anchor.
Because his girl could get over by herself if she was I don't know if she could wrestle or not, but she does have a look, or did have a look, and she had some character. But
it's crazy because I think she actually could wrestle. Yeah,
she could wrestle. That's a shame.
Yeah,
they're too busy trying to get him over.
I think
I don't know where.
I think she's also trying to just stay with them. I think she's just trying to be a manager, because I think she knows, like, if she starts wrestling, his career is completely done. I mean, completely done.
Sable and Mark Merrow?
Well, I mean, I don't want to do that to Mark Merrow. I like Mark Merrow. I'm not gonna insult him by comparing him to Karrion Kross.
Wow, man, Mark Merrow. Marvelous Mark Merrow.
Hey, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Mark Merrow a champion at one point?
Oh, he definitely was. He was television champion. He was Intercontinental champion.
There you go. That's the title I wanted to hear you say.
Yeah.
I don't think Karrion Kross can even touch.
I don't know if he was United States champion WCW or not, but yeah, he was champion before he held some titles. And he was actually interesting.
He was interesting. Oof.
Man, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. I don't know, man.
All right. So, Jay Grizz, how bad do you think the Final Testament has gotten?
I don't think they've gotten bad. I think they've been bad.
Oh.
There's a difference between going bad or getting bad, and you just been bad since the start. They haven't been good at all. Just like Citoo said, they've given Karrion Kross the world, and it's not getting over. He's the anchor that holds everything down, including his own group. They had to kick him out the group like they did with Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley at the Judgment Day, because those two could get over without the new Judgment Day, whatever it is. That whole group is over. So it's just like they need to kick Karrion Kross to the side. He's terrible. He sucks at wrestling. Nobody is connecting with him. Nobody. No, he is the bathroom break. He is the new bathroom break. And him going against the New Day is just, he's holding them down. How you make the stars look bad? You can't even make the stars look good. That's how you know you're a horrible wrestler. That's how you know everything you do is crap. Because even a guy who could wrestle a broomstick, AJ Styles, Rey Mysterio, Drew McIntyre, how you can't even make them look good? They came out worse in that situation. It's almost like if you touch Karrion Kross, you are cursed. You are cursed. And your career does not get better until later on. Because remember with Drew? Drew has some stuff going on with Karrion Kross. And I don't remember how good his career was after that. Not right away. Same thing with Ray. Same thing with AJ Styles. It's like everything he touches is a curse. They only go backwards. they don't move forward until some months later, and then things get better for them. It's almost like wearing a fresh new pair of Air Forces, the all white Air Forces, and you first put them on. You just lace them up. You open the door, you go outside, and you step in a nice big pile of brown cow manure. That's what Karrion Kross is. That's what he is. That's what he has brought to the table. Manure, cow poop on the front step of your ranch in New Jersey. You don't live in no ranch in New Jersey, but you get the point. It ain't good.
I
It ain't
mean,
never
even
been good.
and it's crazy because I told you from the very beginning. I told you from the very beginning when he first returned. I'm like, yeah, this guy's not it. And I think we waited and we waited, and I think everything I was
We waited
saying,
until he grew some hair on his head, didn't we?
what happened?
I said we waited all the way up until he grew hair on his head.
Nah, I think he came back with hair, didn't he?
I'm saying that's how long we've been waiting because he started off
Yeah.
freshly. He came out like Mr. Clean with a with
So
a porno
you're basically saying that
1970
the
porno mustache,
Yeah, I don't know what
and
he's
now
doing.
he's got long hair.
Only thing he is doing is just not getting over.
so you're
So
basically
yeah,
saying that the
go
the
ahead,
Final
D.
Testament is basically the cure for insomnia.
The future that the
You're
Final Testament
basically
is the future of this company. Is that what you're trying to say?
no, I'm saying that they're the cure for insomnia.
Oh Jesus,
Oh, I mean, I don't think true words could be spoken at this point.
man, they trash. But what else we got going on?
All
Ooh,
right, so
wait. Hold on. Before we get to going, I know you guys didn't see this. I saw it about an hour and a half ago, right? And this happened on Collision. This is funny. Christian Cage is doing probably the best work of his career as a wrestler. If
I
Tony
saw the
Khan
shirt. I saw the shirt. The turtleneck rep shirt.
met,
Yeah, Christian
but
said,
wait,
dude.
in the battle royal or whatever it was, because I don't know what's going on in TNA. I mean, in AEW right now. I really don't.
Oof.
Right? I tried to keep up with it. I just don't right now. But I'm watching Christian Cage go to a 10 count. Right? He's on 4, 5. When he gets up to 9, there's somebody, I don't even know who it is, that gets up to beat the count of 10 and he spears him and then he counts 10 right then and there. Man, this guy is classic.
Christian is great. Christian is great.
He's the only thing in that company that's watchable. Too bad he's not back in his like early 30s or even mid 30s or whatever the case is, then that way we would see more of him wrestling, or maybe not even, but he would still have more years to come. He's the unsung hero of that company, in my opinion, because MJF was that guy, but it's just like one MJF after another. It's the same thing that you get all the time. But it's just like when it comes down to Christian, man, your father's dead, and the stuff that he does, the ref shirt, the turtleneck is just classic, man.
I
It's
love
just
the
not getting
turtleneck.
old.
The turtleneck I love.
Yeah, where do you even get a referee turtleneck from?
He's gotten turtlenecks over.
Man, for real. I mean, this guy's wearing turtlenecks with no sleeves on it.
all right.
They need to sell those. They need to sell those at AEWshop.com, or I don't even know if they have one of those.
Well, you think they'll have men's sizes?
Well, of course, Christian is a man.
Right, but I think most of the roster are probably sizes children.
You're ridiculous.
Probably, yeah.
What? Not saying anything that's not true.
All right.
Yeah.
I was saying it, but
He
everybody
was
was
the
thinking it.
father. Speaking
moving
the truth.
forward.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
Moving forward. Up next, Jay Grizz. This one will start you off. Is Triple H bad at creating?
Triple H. I don't think he's bad. Yeah, I don't think he's bad. I think some of the things, he has done hasn't been all that great. That includes, we had an episode not too long ago about the signings, the rehires, that were let go. I think that was that was done with good intentions to see if any of those guys had something, because they got let go a little bit too soon. And I always say, let's see what happens. Let's see what can develop within a year or even 2 years. And I'm not talking about, just on NXT, but I'm talking about on the main roster. Because sometimes, you don't have a fresh start. I mean, a hot start. Sometimes you start off a little slow and then, you pick up from there. But a lot of what he rehired didn't pick up and do anything magnificent. So in hindsight, it was the right call to let those guys go. So maybe that was a bad call, but you can't see into the future. Trial and error, right? So we have that. He's maintained some things pretty well, pretty decently. But in certain areas, it could be better. Um, I want Raw to be 3 hours. I don't know if he has the complete, and that's another thing.
It is 3 hours
Does
already.
No, I know. I'm saying, can we take away the 3 hours? Can we narrow it down? Is Triple H in full control of everything? Like, can he make all these decisions? I don't know, because he is not the owner of the company. Vince was the owner of the company, and he made every decision. So it's a bit different. Triple H is, I don't know what his role is, but he didn't purchase the company. Somebody else did. So all the decisions that he make, we don't even know which ones he's making and which ones he's not making. We're just assuming that, Triple H is doing all this stuff, but he ain't Vince McMahon. He could never be Vince McMahon because he don't own the company. So I truly don't know how much of these things is a Triple H call. We don't really know. So that's another thing. But I mean, I guess we have to put it on him because, I guess he's the only guy with the wrestling knowledge. The company, or the people that bought out the company, they weren't I don't think they were in the wrestling business prior to, or anything of that nature. I'm not really sure of their history. I'm not really sure of their history, So I'm not really quite sure what Triple H does, but we'll just go on a hunch here. And since Vince is gone, how has the WWE been creatively since he's been gone? Trying to think. Cody Rhodes has been good. Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, that's been great. Seth Rollins has been great. Certain thing, the way they protected Jade Cargill, that's pretty much a smart move. There's certain moves that he's done that's been smart, but certain things that he's been doing hasn't been getting over, like the Final Testament. I don't think the DIY guys are getting over like that. I'm sorry. I used to like them a lot when they were in NXT. There was something to watch. Now it's just like they're trying to give them, they're doing walk-in promos every time they're about to have a match. They give you a little history lesson of whatever it is, and then they go to the ring and then they have their matches, and it's just like, it's really not getting over. Austin Theory, Grayson Waller, to me, they're nothing spectacular to watch. So under Triple H, there's been certain things that have been good. Certain things have been watchable, certain things that have not been watchable. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like the Wyatt Six is kind of falling flat already in a way. It's almost like rest in peace to Bray Wyatt, but when he came back, there was an anticipation for him, but then we seen the Mountain Dew match. That, even on paper, don't even sound like a good idea. And I'm not saying that every time a booker or, anybody that's creating or anything like that is going to, have $1 million idea. It just kind of looked on the paper. A Mountain Dew lights out match, whatever, like that, that doesn't sound like a good idea at all. And that could have hurt LA Knight's career, but thank God it didn't. And unfortunately, that was the last time we got to see Bray Wyatt in a match. And that was his only match when he returned, and it wasn't a good one either. So that was a horrible idea when that happened. But, thank God he was re-signed. So Triple H did do that rehire, and it was massive, and the anticipation was great, but it fell flat after a while. So again, if Triple H is the one that's in, the creative control here, then he gets the full blame. But again, I don't know if he is the only one or if he's the one that's doing all this, but we can only just assume for right now. That's all I really got to say about it. I might chime in, if you guys say something, because I may have forgotten some things or whatever. But
Right.
You guys take it from here.
Yeah,
Woo!
Cito, what do you think?
Had to do the woo.
I don't I don't think Triple H is good at creating. I think the final testament has been an absolute disaster. And even before the final testament, Karrion Kross has just been, I don't know of another word to say besides just terrible. He has not gotten over, he cannot get over, he can't get a reaction. That's what we were just talking about before. But then you have other people that Triple H seemed to bring back. Candice LeRae's one of them. What is she doing? She gets no reaction every time I see her. And those times are very few and far between. Then you just hit on Ciampa and Gargano. I don't think they can get over either. I don't think they're really interesting. I don't really care for them. You know, under Vince, I think Austin Theory was going to be a bigger star than what he is right now under Triple H. And then when you look at the positives of both Raw and SmackDown, you do have the Judgment Day, which was already here with Vince. You have Gunther, who I believe won his first IC title under Vince. And then on SmackDown, you have the Bloodline angle, which has been pretty good for how many years, but now it's just starting to get pretty scale because I think everybody knows that Solo's not that guy. But I'm not sure what Triple H has created that we can say is, oh no, this is really good. And especially when it comes to groups and factions, because we talked about the
Cito,
Final
can I
Testament.
double dutch in real quick?
Yeah, double dutch in.
All right. D, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Cito say that he acknowledged Solo as a tribal chief?
Yeah,
Yeah.
kinda did. You
Yeah.
said you acknowledge him.
Cito.
Right.
Cito.
That's me, and I'm probably like in what, like the minor 2%. I don't think anybody else does. And again,
No, only you, Solo, and
I
Jacob
like
do.
Solo. Oh no, I think you have the other. You have Tamatonga and Bachatonga.
Tamba.
The next botch is he's gonna wear the eye patch on the wrong eye.
Oh,
That's gonna be the next botch.
oh man. But again,
But no,
realistically, Solo's not. I like Solo, but he's not that guy as a main eventer. That's not him. At least not yet. I don't know if he can get there. You know, he has been overshadowed by Jacob Fatu. I think that's pretty safe to say by everybody, right?
I don't think so.
You don't think Jacob Fatu has overshadowed Solo Sikoa?
No, I don't think so. And the reason why I think that is because Jacob is new to the WWE, right? So some people may not be aware of him, but he's doing his thing. But also he carries that same intensity that Solo had carried before, just less. He's more intense than Solo. So he picks up the pace a lot faster. His moveset is a lot better or whatever. But I was digging Solo when he first came about.
Wait a minute. Right. I like that you said that because I agree. I think Solo was more of a tougher guy when he first came to the Bloodline, right? And who was that under again?
Who was who?
Who was that under?
Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
It don't matter.
So what we're
before,
seeing is that they're just poorly booked at this point. You have certain people that are poorly booked.
Maintenance is everything, right? Okay, so case in point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Since I can't just let you bash Triple H all the time.
I'm not bashing him. I like Triple H.
Vader, right?
Uh-huh.
For all y'all fans listening, hopefully you remember Vader. Vader was a massive star in every place that he went to except for WWE. So it's just like, do we also, and again, like I said, everything is about maintenance. Did Vince McMahon maintenance?
Are we going to act like somebody didn't derail his career?
You said what?
Did somebody derail his career or no?
Yeah, but Shawn Michaels don't sign the checks. I know where you're going with that. Shawn Michaels don't sign the checks. He just don't. So Vince McMahon is the one who signs the checks. He's the one that gives the green light to everything. I don't care what Shawn Michaels had to say. If Shawn Michaels can do that to the owner of the company, then you don't need to be the owner of the company. Shawn Michaels needs to be the owner of the company and sign checks. If he can influence. That's another thing I never liked about hearing that these guys has so much of an influence that they could derail somebody else's career. To me, that's insane. That means Vince McMahon is a buffoon, because if I can sit up here and tell the boss whose career to derail from them being mega stars at some point in time, or main event stars at some point in time, I don't need to be in that business. That's what we have Tony Khan for. You know what I mean? That's just, to me, that's just crazy. So if that's the case, hey, then I'm not wrong. But in any event, Vince McMahon didn't maintenance Vader's career very well when Vader came in through the door. Shawn Michaels, no, because it's still Vince's call. If the match didn't work out, the match didn't work out. And we've seen
what did
Shawn
Vader
have
do
the hissy
afterwards?
fit. What did Vader do afterwards? I don't remember directly afterwards, but he wasn't the same Vader no more. He wasn't in no main events anymore like that.
So wait a minute.
I think
Wait, if he's not the same Vader after leaving WWE, doesn't that seem like a Vader problem? If he's a big
after
star
leaving
everywhere,
WWE,
well, if he's a big star everywhere and he's in WWE, he should remain
no,
a big star when he
no,
dips.
no, because he's a lot older now. His career was winding down. His career was pretty much done up. He was wrestling
Okay.
since the 80s through the
so then
90s,
maybe
and he's a bigger guy.
so then maybe we don't blame Shawn. We don't blame Vince. Maybe he was just too old when he went to WWE.
Nah.
What do you mean?
So then why put him in a position in the first place?
They probably thought that they had more in him and probably saw that wasn't the case.
Come on now. Listen, if that's the case, right, before you
I'm
get
just
to the
playing
main
devil's
event
advocate
spot,
right here.
no, before you get into the main event spot, though, you have to see something in them to put them in that spot, don't you?
Well, how many people did they have at that time that you could put in the main event spot?
They put Bulldog against Shawn Michaels in that spot. Diesel wasn't there anymore, so he was gone.
Paul wasn't there.
They had Sid. They still had Owen Hart. They still had Mankind. So they fed Shawn Michaels, some stuff to do. They fed him off the Vader or whatever like that.
Well, I think that they had more hopes, in Vader, and when they saw that he messed up with Shawn, probably like, maybe it's not really a good idea to have him in these matches or in this type of spot if he's messing up already.
Well, that's not even his fault though, because do you remember when they first signed him? And this is the problem with the WWF, as it was called back then. Vince McMahon, I believe he messed up twice with two wrestlers. It wasn't just Vader. He also did it with Brian Pillman. He signed these guys while they were already injured, and they came in the door already kind of banged up. So it's just like, if you're going to sign them, right, why not wait till they clear up first and then have them do some stuff? You did it at the wrong time. I'm not saying you didn't have to sign them. I'm saying you put them on TV at the wrong time, because then they both lost momentum. I'm trying to rewind my head back all the way to the 90s, because I feel like Vader came in and did some stuff and was taken off TV. I think he attacked Gorilla Monsoon pretty much right away and got himself suspended. And he was written off for TV that way. Why put him on TV in the first place if he wasn't ready? That's bad maintenance. If I'm going to sign you, I'm going to make sure that you're ready to go. That's like, okay, bad maintenance. WCW and Bret Hart. When Bret Hart first came in the door, he was a referee for the worst, biggest anticipated match in WCW history. And that right there didn't help Bret Hart at all. That made everybody look bad. That was poor maintenance. You have to maintain these guys correctly. If you don't maintenance them correctly, it's always going to fall flat.
Yeah, I mean, again, it might have been. I mean, Vince probably messed up, which is probably going to happen once you're doing it for so long and you're bringing everybody in and out of the company, right?
I suppose. I don't know.
Look. Well, we're talking about bad maintenance. I mean, Triple H already did it with Jade Cargill. He brought her in thinking that she was going to be a lot better than what she was, and she's still botching.
That's completely different.
Had to take. That's bad maintenance. How's that different? No,
it's two completely different things, from being injured, from signing a guy who's injured and bringing him on TV. They didn't bring her in as a person that was injured. They brought her in being inexperienced, but they didn't give her anything right away either. So they showcased her. Yes, they did that, and then they had her doing the Royal Rumble, and then they had her
Mm-hmm.
doing the WrestleMania stuff. So it's just like they gave
Yeah.
her time to do some development. I can't say it's bad maintenance because they did it correctly. If she can't get better, that's not a Triple H issue. That's a Jade issue. If she can't get better or she hasn't gotten better, and they still protecting her by putting her in the tag team, so that's good maintenance. And the matches that she does have, the one-on-one matches, they don't last longer than 3 minutes.
Right. No, they can't. Right. I
Right.
mean,
So
I just
where's the
wouldn't have
bad
brought her.
maintenance with that?
Well, the bad maintenance is bringing her up when you know that she's not that good, and then having to put her in a tag team, giving her a tag team title, and then taking it off because maybe not a good idea. You probably should have just kept her at the performance center for a little longer before you even brought her up, just to get her ready. I
Well,
don't I don't
hold
understand
on.
what the rush is.
Hold on. Paul Heyman had a promotion called ECW. And even Booker T said it. Booker T thought, some of those guys were very talented until he wrestled some of those guys, and they didn't know what the heck they were doing. Paul
Yeah, you could
Heyman,
tell a lot of those guys were not that talented.
right, of course, but it's just like
Okay.
he also didn't have them doing things that they weren't supposed to be doing. You never seen the Sandman doing a hip toss or a drop kick or anything like that. He had him doing the stuff that he could do. I think that's the difference, and that's the thing with Goldberg too. Goldberg was protected; he was maintenance correctly up until he had that match with William Regal. So Jay Cargill, that's not bad maintenance. They're doing what they can with her. She has to be in the tag team because on her own, and they're protecting her by having these little squash matches because she's not ready to do one-on-one stuff. That to me, that's good maintenance. Just like Paul Heyman said, I might be misquoting it, but you hide the weaknesses and you present the strengths. That's her strength.
Mm-hmm.
You don't give her a 10-minute match by herself
What's
because
the
she's
rush?
gonna mess up.
But here's the problem. What's the rush of bringing her up?
There was
Why
no
couldn't you
rush. Like
just?
I said, when they signed her, she was a free
Well,
agent,
all right,
right?
but you brought her up, and she still can't have a match longer than 3 minutes without messing up or tripping over her feet. So you put her in a tag team.
I don't think so. She had a match this past week. Not this past weekend, this past Friday that she didn't botch or mess up. She took on one of the I don't even know, Abba Fire, whatever the girl name is, one of the female tag team champions. She defeated her without tripping over her feet. She didn't botch anything at all. She doesn't always botch in matches. She's not the Tongaloa. She's not that bad. She don't botch every time you see her.
I don't even know how to respond to that. That
Did you
she's not
see
as bad as
SmackDown?
Tangaloa.
Did
No,
you
I
see
didn't see it. I
SmackDown?
didn't see it this week. She's been
Yeah, I
MIA.
saw.
She's been
I watched the
MIA for the
match.
last couple of weeks. I don't know where they've been.
Yeah, and I
Because
watched the match.
the last couple of weeks she hasn't been on there
Yeah, and I
wrestling.
watched the match, and she didn't do
Hmm.
anything wrong. She did very well.
Yeah,
Again,
probably because she's been off TV and training. Which is
well,
my point.
okay,
There was
which is
there
good
was just exactly
maintenance.
what I'm saying. No, it's good maintenance
How?
now because you should have never put her on TV that soon to begin with.
What soon?
Well, Brian, how long has she been with WWE?
They signed her in the
It hasn't.
summertime, I believe, right? And
I
then
believe it was
January is the Royal Rumble.
September or October.
Okay, well, whatever it was,
Uh-huh.
that's not soon. The Royal Rumble is not soon. The Royal Rumble it's not an actual one-on-one match. It's just a match to, do your little thing or whatever like that. When the countdown goes off to 1, you get in there, you do your thing for the next minute or 2 minutes, whatever, and
Hmm.
then you go from there. And then we didn't see her again until WrestleMania, and she was in a match with 2 other girls, 2 veteran females, Naomi and Bianca Belair.
Right. I mean, that's the good thing about the WWE women's division. You have a lot of these girls that are going to be able to carry her. But
I don't see the bad maintenance at all.
uh,
If it was bad maintenance,
again,
she
they
would have
took her
had.
off TV for how many weeks? Because
Not everybody gets to be on
she
TV
just wrestled
anymore on
again.
SmackDown.
Jay, she hasn't wrestled since like when? Besides Friday, we have not seen her wrestle in a minute.
I don't watch the show every week. You know that.
I know. And I've been watching it except
But,
for Friday, and I'll tell you that she has not been wrestling. She might
okay,
be
well, let
doing
me
like
ask
a
you this then.
backstage segment. Okay.
Okay, so let me ask you this then. Did you see
Hmm.
Monday Night Raw?
I did.
Okay. JD McDonough took on Damian Priest. When was the last time you seen JD McDonough wrestle in a match? Carlito is going to wrestle Damian Priest this coming Monday, which is
Hmm.
tomorrow. When was the last time you seen Carlito wrestling in the match?
I
So
will
there
tell
goes
you
my
that they
point. You're not
wrestle.
going to see.
No, they do wrestle more frequently than what Jay's been wrestling.
You said in a couple weeks, so we don't know what those couple weeks are because I didn't see Carlito wrestle in a couple weeks. And if I do see him wrestle, it's still spotty. It's a spotty situation because he's not wrestling consistently either. Neither is JD McDonough or even Finn Balor or Dom Mysterio. I mean, they're doing stuff, but
Well, Finn Balor, not this past Monday, but the Monday, before SummerSlam, wrestled Gunther
he took
in a
on
match.
Gunther. But before
Yeah.
then, when was the last time? He's there's no consistency. There's not a lot of consistency with a lot of these guys and girls in WWE right now, and there's nothing wrong with that because the
And you
talent.
watch Raw weekly?
I don't watch the full thing sometimes. No, not all the time. There's certain things I miss. Certain things I do watch. I'll
Okay.
read the results or something like that. Or I'll just go to socialmedia.com and see what happened through there. But I don't see a lot of guys being consistent. That's just the way it is. They don't have a lot of consistency. A lot of it's promos. You may see Chad Gable all the time, but you definitely don't see him always wrestling. Tozawa, Otis, or Otis, whatever they're
Well,
calling him
I
now
think the
again,
difference between everybody that we're naming and Jade Cargill is that they're all actual good wrestlers.
doesn't matter. It's you're deeming it as bad maintenance. I've always said that maintenance is how you present your people, and I feel like in today's wrestling with the WWE, let me just say WWE, um, they have these guys and girls wrestling a lot. They have them doing the house shows, the PLEs, the weekly events, and everything like that. So it's good to not see these guys wrestle every single Monday night because there's also other people that need a chance to shine, and also promo work matters. And so there's a buildup of this and that too. Let put it like this: Chad Gable has been with the WWE system for quite some time, probably about 10 years now. I'm not sure of the count. Could be about 10 years. But he has now gotten to be able to talk because his promos now are better than ever before. That's growth. That's maintenance. Before, he didn't have that. So it's just like, okay, what do? Now you find out that he can talk. So there's never a reason for you to have him wrestle all the time, but he can also talk. So he can talk. So what do you have him do? You have him talk. Because you don't need to have him wrestle every week, and he's a good wrestler, and he's a good talker. So they're building on stuff back and forth. Either you're building up on a promo or you're building your wrestling skill. That's just what it is. I mean, am I wrong?
I mean, no, not with Chad. No, he's a
That's what,
better
but
talker now than
that's
what
with a
he.
good amount of people though. Because Damian Priest now is Damian Priest now a better talker than he was 2-3 years ago?
I would say he's a better
Absolutely better.
talker. Yeah. Okay.
He's a much better talker. And now that you know that he's a better talker, what do you have him do? You don't have him always wrestling. You have him talking now too. So it's just like he doesn't need to wrestle all the time. I don't know what they're doing with Jade all the time. I'm not just always keeping an eye on Jade, but I'll tell you one thing in
I
my
don't think anybody
personal
is.
opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, in my personal opinion, she's better than what she was with AEW.
Which is still not saying much of anything.
Okay.
That's still not. Again, realistically, that's at some point we might need to have a discussion that she's been wrestling longer than a Braun Breaker or Tiffany Stratton, and they're just way better than what she probably will ever be. That's a problem.
Okay.
And again, you talked about it with Goldberg. Not everybody's gonna be good, and she seems like she just might be one of those people that she probably isn't gonna get that good. The good thing with WWE is that they got a real strong women's division, and a lot of these girls are gonna be able to bring her to some good matches.
I just don't feel that she's as bad as you say she is.
Oh,
And
okay.
she don't need to and everybody don't need to wrestle 10 minutes a match. Because realistically, when you have okay, put it like this. You're never gonna want to see a 10-minute match between Andre the Giant and Rey Mysterio. Jade Cargill is one of the bigger ones, and she's wrestling against females that are just mediocre anyway. But do we need to see a competitive 10-minute match between people that are half their size? If they're good, if they're really, really good, then that's different. But what she's been having one-on-one, these women aren't all that good either. And when I mean good, I'm talking about on an elite level of wrestling ability. So I'm not talking about like an AJ Lee or a Mickey James. I'm not talking about that kind of talent, or Serena Deeb. Those are elite level female wrestlers that can wrestle very well, and they will give you those kind of matches. But these squash matches, none of those women are that level.
Okay, and you said you saw her match on Friday,
Yeah,
and it was longer than 3 minutes.
it was probably about 3 minutes. And like you said that she botches almost every time, or she botches every time, and she doesn't.
No,
I seen the match.
my
She didn't botch.
my exact words were she can't go over 3 minutes without botching. That's why I'm asking you if the match was over 3 minutes, which, looking at it, I don't think it was even over 3 minutes.
No, it wasn't over 3 minutes.
Okay,
I'm not sure if
so
you was using the 3 minutes before, but I think you may have been taking the 3 minutes from
no,
me. But all right,
no, I said that she can't go over 3 minutes without tripping over her feet, was the exact quote I said.
all right, we'll play it back. We'll
So,
see.
okay, well, no, I'm only asking because I'm watching the match.
What, you're watching the match now?
Yeah,
Okay, and she doesn't
and I
botches.
see that she already her and the girl almost dropped, so I don't know whose fault that is on. That she seemed to almost slip from Jade's arm. But looking at the match is not even. I don't even think it's 3 minutes.
Did it stop yet? Did it come to an end?
Now, I'll tell you right now. It started at 150, and it ends at 3:35. So it's not even 3 minutes.
It's at 3:35.
3:35. You do the math on that. That's not 3 minutes because
Wait,
150 is almost.
when does the
Which
bell
is,
ring and when does the bell end?
I'm telling you, 150.
1 minute and 50 seconds.
Yes.
That's when the
And then
bell rung
the
at 1
bell,
minute and 50 seconds.
and then the bell rings and it ends at 3:44.
Did she botch?
It wasn't over 3 minutes. And yeah,
It's all right. She didn't
now
botch.
again, I don't know. Well, no, I told you her. I don't know whose fault it was, but she picked up. What's the girl's name? I get both of them confused. But
Same
she
here.
picked up. Yeah, those are two other girls that I really don't care for either. But she picked her up, and she started slipping down. So, not sure if the botch is on Jade, if the botch is on the other chick, or if it's just on both of them.
That's not a botch, though. It's really not a botch.
Okay, if you say so.
It's not.
Oh, okay. Well, still wasn't over 3 minutes. So
Okay.
once she starts actually having regular matches, I guess we'll critique her at that point. But I mean, maybe once she's in WWE for 2 years, she can get to that point. But she
Maybe.
still isn't there. She still isn't there. And she might not get there. Goldberg never got there.
Let me ask you a question, right? You're so
Mhm.
hard on you're so hard on Jade.
Well, no, I'm hard on
You
the
don't
fact
give
that if you're Triple H, you knew she wasn't that good, and he even said that he thought she was a lot better, and they didn't expect to have to train her longer. But I just wouldn't have brought her up just yet.
Tongaloa isn't any good, and he's been wrestling for years.
Exactly. Right. He's not. And who brought him back? What are we doing here?
What do you mean? Who brought him back?
Is Vince McMahon running the company right now?
Tongaloa wasn't a part of the WWE.
What do you mean he wasn't a part of the WWE?
Tongaloa was never a part of the WWE up until this point.
What do you know? Why do you keep saying that? Yeah, he was.
When was he ever hired by the WWE before this point?
When he was Camacho.
When he was who?
Camacho.
Who
When
the
he
hell
was
is
with Unico.
Camacho?
That's You're saying Tongaloa, right?
Right.
The one that's always botching with the eye patch, right?
Yes.
When we talk and I call him Camacho, that's because he used to be Camacho. He was in
Who was
WWE.
Camacho?
Tangaloa. Jay, I don't know
Okay.
why it's so hard.
No. You're telling me two separate names, right? Who was
I'm
Camacho? Who was a wrestler named Camacho? What has he done? I don't know. When was this?
when Hunico was still there. Do you remember
Who the
Hunico or you don't?
hell? Who are these people?
Jay, how long have you been watching this company?
I've been watching for a long time, but people come
Oh,
and
okay,
go. But
okay. You remember Sin
how
Cara?
long was he there for? A week?
Do
2
you
weeks?
remember Sin Cara? No, they were there. Oh, they were a little longer. Then I think they ended up going to NXT. You remember Sin Cara?
Yes, I do.
You remember the evil Sin Cara?
There was 2 of them. Yes.
There was 2 of them. The evil Sin Cara ended up becoming Hunico. Camacho
Okay.
ended up being his his bodyguard. Bro, they used to come out on a bike. I don't know why this is not. They came out on a bike. Jay, a bike.
Camacho ended up being his what?
He was Hunico's bodyguard, his heavy.
His bodyguard. Okay.
Oh, and he was portrayed to be a Mexican as well, by the way. Just in case you couldn't tell by the
But
name,
Cito,
Camacho.
but Cito,
Mm-hmm.
you're talking about 2 different people. They're not the same person. You talking about Camacho. This is Tangaloa. Camacho and Tangaloa aren't the same people. Shut up, Bella.
They're not the same what?
Camacho and Tangaloa aren't the same people.
Okay, what were you saying?
Yeah, Camacho and Tangaloa aren't the same people.
What do you mean they're not the same people?
Is Kane and Isaac Yankem DDS the same people?
Oh, okay.
Kane and Isaac Yankem are not the same people.
So, same person.
Yeah, Kane. Let me ask you: is Kane, Isaac Yankem? They're not the same people.
Right, no. Different characters.
Exactly. So Tongaloa and this Hunico Camacho, whoever you're talking about, they ain't the same people.
Okay, that's fine. If you know that he's a botch fest since before he even got there, why would you sign him? I mean, unless you would do that. If you would do that, then that's fine. Just say, yeah, I mean, I know he sucks and he botches a lot, but I still hire him.
I would have never did that.
Okay, then. Right, okay. I'm happy that, okay. All right, I'm
But
happy we
but
agree on
but
something.
but
'Cause you
here's the
started
thing:
scaring
you
me for a
can't know
second.
this because they're not the same people.
Well, you've seen him as whatever he was doing in New Japan, and he was botching how much stuff.
Oh, I only seen that. I was only aware of him after the fact of the signing. I don't watch
That's
New
fine,
Japan
but
wrestling.
that's not us. Right. That's not us. We're not hiring him. We're not paying him money. If you're paying him money and you hiring him, you better know what he's bringing to the table.
No, you're right, but he also isn't a big name or a big star, or he's just some guy who, and he got over because of his last name. I've already stated that before too. The only reason
Wait,
that
that who
he's
got
there in
over?
that company, huh?
Wait, what did you just say?
I said the only reason why he's there is because of his family's last name.
Okay, still not necessary. You got about 500 Samoans you can just hire. Can we just get other ones that don't?
Whoa,
I'm not even making a joke, but like we got so many other Samoans. Why do we got to get the one that's always bought? I mean, it just doesn't make sense.
wait. Are you telling me that they got 500 brothers, sisters, cousins, aunties, and uncles?
Seems about that. You saw the family tree, right?
I did see the family tree. I
Right.
didn't count the
Okay.
500.
I I I stopped counting after the first row. I'm like, that's a lot of Samoans.
That is a lot of Samoans. But
That's
listen,
a lot of Samoans. What's up?
yeah. But listen, we're running out of time. We're gonna have to get you back with another episode shortly after this one comes out.
Yeah, listen, that's all for today, and to all our listeners, we're the Wrestling with Idiots podcast, and that's a wrap. Till next time, we're out.
Yeah. I had to add that.